we get going, I kind of have a couple things that everyone should kind of have with them in arm's reach as we get going, and then we can kind of switch them out on and off as we go. We have what I kind of use. If you have any kind of resistance bands, you want any kind of resistance band or a belt. So that's going to be the first thing. So if you have a belt handy or a resistance belt, one of the two are going to work. Also, if you have like a beach towel or something that we can wrap around the balls of your feet, we want to utilize those as well. So if you want to, also if you have any free weights, things that we incorporate later on, just have all those ready so you don't have to go back and forth once we get going. Once everyone's situated, we're going to start off with the belt or the resistance band, whichever one you have handy, and then we'll start off in the chair and then kind of work our way up onto the floor to a standing position to somewhat more functional things at the end here. So I'll give everyone about a second or two to get situated here, and then we'll get moving.
And then, Jimmy, while everybody's kind of doing that, you're looking a little dark. Is there a light that you can turn on by any chance?
Sorry.
There we go. Definitely. A lot better. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. So when we go in here, we're going to start off with a couple stretches just for our posterior chain. A lot of times when we do a lot of sitting, we get our hamstrings, our calves, especially our hip flexors get tight. So if you want to, I'm going to start off using a belt, assuming some people don't have certain, resistance bands or things. I'm going to start off with the basic belt, but if you have the bands, you can use a band or a gait belt as well here, okay? We're going to start off by looping the belt here. It doesn't have to be to the longest niche, just to the first one here. And we're going to wrap it around the balls of our feet. So we're going to grab the belt here. I'm going to push it so it's nice and tight through here and it's all linked up. And then I'm going to put it around the balls of my feet through here. Just like this. And then you can kind of hold it tight like this. And we're going to actually lean forward in our chair a little bit. I'm going to lean sideways so you can kind of see me a little bit. We're going to be here. And we're going to put it around the balls of our feet, and we're going to extend back this way. So I'm keeping my right leg at 90 degrees here. I'm leaning forward in the chair, and I'm doing a hinging motion. So I'm going to be hinging back and then leaning forward nice and easy as I come forward. So make sure you have enough room in the back of your seat so you can hinge back. So let's do about 8 of these on each side, pulling the band back towards me, and keeping the balls of your feet nice and pointed up towards the ceiling and then hinging forward towards the ground. Let's do about 8 on each leg, going nice and easy. Trying to keep that leg nice and straight, pulling the toes back towards you, and then coming down nice and easy. And then on these, the starting of some of these exercises, just go nice and slow. We're focusing more on trying to open up and stretch the tissue, not about how many reps we do, how quickly we do them. So just go nice and slow. Allow the muscles to stretch. Let's change legs here. So we're going to do the same sequence on the other side now. So first things first, we're going to wrap the belt around the balls of our feet here. I'm going to keep my other leg now at 90 degrees, my heel right under my knee. I'm going to be scooting forward in my chair, and then I'm going to be hinging back. Keeping the leg nice and straight, pulling my toes up towards me, and then hinging back. I like to start off with some of these stretches because we kind of, over time, we get subconsciously we don't really think about all of the stress we put on our bodies from sitting, if you do desk work. So some of these exercises are going to be really good to help open up some of the muscles that get really strained. Let's do one more here. Alrighty, and let's relax through here. So we're going to come back. I'm going to swivel back this way. All right, so next what we're going to do, we're going to still use the belt here, still sitting forward in the chair. We're going to go a little bit, we're going to create a Y with our hands. So I'm going to go a little bit further than shoulder width, still holding onto the belt. And again, if you have a band, you could use a band here too and just pull it away from you as you come up. So if you want to use the belt, you can use a belt, but also if you have a band, when you're pulling with the band, I'm trying to pull up and away from my body. And I'm coming back down. So either one, we can use a band or a belt here. I'm gonna use a belt for demonstration here. So I'm gonna create a Y with my hands. My hands are a little bit further than shoulder width. And then as I come up, I'm gonna be leaning forward, chest is over my knees. And as I come up, I'm gonna be pulling up and away from my body, trying to create a good Y. And then come back down and relax. So let's do a couple here, nice and easy, pulling up and away, and then back and down. The goal here is to really try to pull your shoulder blades together in the back as you come up. Your back should be nice and straight as you come up. Engage your lower back and keep the chest nice and up. Good. And if you're holding onto the belt, imagine like you're pulling the belt away from you. So as you come up, you're trying to pull that belt as far as you can on each side, holding and then come back down. Let's do a couple more. Coming up, pulling. Engage your lower back. I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together in the back and I'm coming straight down. Let's do one more. Coming up and I'm pulling. And then back together and relax. We're gonna come through here. Now what we're gonna do, let's do a little bit of rotation for our back before we get going. So next what we're gonna do, we're gonna just sit to one side of our body. And then what I'm gonna try to do is rotate and grab the chair and twist towards the direction I'm turning. Trying to keep my chest up and turning my back. As I'm doing this, I should be incorporating some diaphragmatic breathing. So as my chest is open, take a big deep breath in and let's hold for 2 to 3 seconds and breathe out and then change sides. Same thing, I'm shifting over and then I'm gonna rotate. My chest is gonna stay up. Imagine like you're taking a big deep breath in, like your chest is a big balloon and you're filling your chest up with air. So as I'm rotating this way, take a big deep breath in and relax. Let's change sides. Same thing. Imagine like your diaphragm's a big balloon, you're filling it up with air. As I'm rotating, my chest is up. And breathe out. Let's change sides. Couple more. Chest is up. I'm filling my lungs up with air. And breathe out. Let's do one more to the opposite side. And as you're doing this, you should feel your stomach raise. Imagine like you're filling your lungs and your stomach up and allow that air to expand your stomach. So one more time on the other side. Good job, guys, and relax. So we're gonna start going now. So we're gonna start off in a hands and knees position, a very functional movement. If you can keep the chair next to you as a way to get down to the ground and back up as a kind of counterbalance and insurance policy if we need it, okay? So let's transition onto the floor now. I'm just gonna move the chair to the side of me. So if I need it later on, we can kind of access it and you can keep your stuff there. Let me see if I can reposition this for everyone. Okay. So we're going to start off in a hands and knees position here. First things first, whenever we get in this kind of position, make sure the knees are stacked on top of our hips and my wrists are stacked on top of my shoulders. I don't want to have my hands way out here or my knees off center because that's going to create a lot of load on the body. So again, if you need to, this is where if you have the blanket as well, we can put it right under our knees to create a nice cushion for our knees if you wanted that as well, just to alleviate some of the pressure that we're putting onto our knees. So the first thing we're going to do here, we're going to work on just a couple hip movements, just focusing on our hip musculature. So the first thing we're going to do is imagine like you're tucking your hips under you and you're arching your back. So I'm tucking my navel into my spine. And we're going to do a couple of these transitional movements to open up our spine and our thoracic spine a little bit. And then try to arch back. I'm pushing my hips back and I'm trying to create a nice good table on my back. And I'm pushing my shoulders down. Imagine like we're rolling our shoulders back. And then we're going to tuck Belly button in, I'm pushing everything under me, trying to create a nice, good arch. And then push back, hips come back, shoulders come down. Let's do a couple here. Just focusing on rocking the hips, tucking, pushing back, and flattening. Let's do about 8 here. Focus on the breathing. Big, deep breath in as I tuck. Breathe out, push out as I expand back. Go at your pace here, your tempo. Find a good rhythm, a good cadence. Pushing back and relaxing. Let's do 2 more here. Good job, guys. 1 more. Good. And relaxing. So we're going to get into some core movements now, still staying in hands and knees. When we're ready, the first thing we're going to do here, we're going to imagine like we're extending back. We're going to push one leg back away from us, creating a good line. And then we're going to extend the arm out in front of us. Opposite arm, opposite leg. So if you're not used to doing this movement, start off with just the leg movement and then lifting the hand. Once you feel acclimated to holding the hand up, you can work on extending the arm. So that's going to be the next movement we're going to kind of break down. Have something next to you if you need it. But the first thing we're going to try to do is if you have a weight, if you're feeling good with this movement, you can put a weight in whatever hand is free. So I'm going to use a ball here. It's a weighted ball, 2 to 3 pounds that you can hold on to one hand. So I'm going to hold here. Start with the leg first, extend the leg out. Once you feel this leg is stable, the opposite hand will reach out in front. Your goal is to try to create a good line between your wrist and your shoulder. You don't want to be down here with your hand. Try to extend up and create a good line from your wrist to your shoulder and your heel to your hip. So let's do about 8 on each side. Go at your own pace and try to create stability. As we're doing this, we don't want to be rocking back and forth. We want to have our hips stable. So it's all about stability. Touching the knee if you want to. Extend out and away from your body. Go nice and slow. Find that stability. Touch your knee to your wrist if you feel good with it. And then extend out and away. Lastly, if you feel like you have this movement pretty under control, you want some challenge, you can add a little bit of instability to whatever knee is on the ground by putting a blanket or something that moves a little bit under that knee to create some instability. So I can grab a couple, I just grabbed some towels here. You can put something under the knees that offers a little bit of instability. So when you push back now, it's going to be a little bit harder to stabilize. So that's something you can do to progress this exercise a little bit. Let's change sides. Let's do the same thing on the other side now. Start with the leg, extend the leg out. The hand will follow. Opposite arm touching, extend out and away. Good, guys. Let's do about 8 on each side. Nice and controlled. Think about maintaining that stability through your spine. Good. Let's do 2 more. Good job, guys. 1 more. All right, let's relax. Let's bring that chair up that we had in front of us. And let's just take a quick break. We can put our hands like this, and we're just resting in this position here. Next, what we're going to do, we're going to come up into a kneeling position. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to bring one leg out in front of me, and then I'm going to bring that chair to whatever side my knee is kneeling on. So if I'm shifted, if my knee is on this side, I'm putting the chair on this side to help counterbalance me a little bit. So this is the position we should be in. We want to have our heel right under our knee. This hip should be stacked right on top of this knee, okay? We're going to grab our hands, put it right out in front of us, and we're going to do a couple of rotational movements, trying to rotate away, and then come back to your center. We don't have to go to the other side, because I will change sides in a second. So just rotate to whatever side is kneeling and opened up. Think about maintaining control. Your core should be tight. If you have any weight or a yoga block or something that you want to hold on to, you can grab onto that and hold on to that as you rotate as well. Go nice and slow, maintain control. Okay, let's do a couple more, guys. Good. So before we change sides, we're going to do one more movement that's going to be going across our body. So we're going to go think about throwing a bucket of water over your shoulder. You're going to be bringing your hands down to your hip, and then you're going to go up and away from your body. So imagine like you're throwing a bucket of water over that shoulder. Come back down to your hip. Your chest should follow your wrist. So when you're bringing your hands down to your waist, have your chest rotate down with you. And again, the goal here is to maintain control. Don't waver your hips. Stay nice and controlled of the movement. All right, guys, do a couple more. Good job. All right, let's relax. We're going to change sides. So we're going to bring that chair back to the center. And to whatever side that you weren't kneeling to, we're going to bring that chair over. And then I'm going to bring my other side up. Also, if you have any knee discrepancies, or again, make sure we're putting something under that knee to make sure we cushion it a little bit. So we can always grab some towels to make sure that you cushion the knee from the pressure, and then come up into that kneeling position here. And again, it's important we have that chair next to us so we can maybe alleviate some of the pressure pushing down into the knee if we have to. So the first thing we're going to do, let's go back into that rotational movement. So from here, stay nice and tall. I'm only going to rotate to the side that's open. Rotating here, stay nice and tall, back to center. And then as I'm doing this, we don't want to have any flexion with our chest. Make sure your chest stays tall. Imagine like you're pushing, someone's pushing your lower back up nice and tall. Let's go for about 8 on each side here. Good. All right, let's take a quick break. Again, you can hold on to that chair if you needed to take some of the pressure off the knee. And then we're going to do that rotational movement really quick, doing pocket to hip, or pocket to shoulder, I mean. So imagine like you're throwing a bucket of water over that shoulder now, okay? So chest follows my wrist. Stay nice and stable. And keep that knee under the heel, and then your hip under that, under the knees. You want to stay at 90 degrees. Good. Imagine like we're pulling something out of our pocket, throwing it over our shoulder. Good. Let's do 2 more, guys. Good. All right, let's relax here. Let's come off our knees and we're gonna roll onto our back now. So wherever we are, let's create a good space. If you have that towel, make sure you grab that towel and roll it up so we can put it behind our neck so it doesn't put a lot of tension on our neck when we lay back. Okay, so we're gonna start off laying straight on our back here with our knees up. Let me bring this over so you can see. There you go. So I'm laying back, my legs are coming up, and I'm laying straight back on the floor. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna grab the band or a belt that we have next to us, and we're gonna wrap it around our legs like this. If you have a belt, that's gonna work. If you need a band, let's grab that band and put it around our legs. Just like this. So I'm wrapping it up over my lower leg, just like that, and I'm laying straight back. If you have a band, the band is a little bit better because it offers variable resistance and it'll get your hips engaged a little bit more. With the belt, it's good because we can hold some isometric holds on it, still engaging our hips. So either one's going to be good for this exercise. If you have the band, let's utilize the band for this one if we got it. So we're going to lay straight back and then putting the band up over our upper thigh or lower thigh, we're going to push our hips up first. As I'm pushing my hips up towards the ceiling, I'm trying to spread my legs apart. So I'm trying to squeeze into that band, and then we're going to come back down, drop our hips. So let's do about 8 of these going nice and slow. I'm engaging my hips first. I'm coming up towards the ceiling, and I'm trying to push that band apart. And then come back down nice and easy. Don't worry about how hard you try to pull your legs apart. Focus on driving those legs, the hips up. So think about pushing through your heels. I'm driving through my legs. Once my hips are up, I'm trying to squeeze that band apart. And then I'm dropping my hips and I'm relaxing. So this is engaging all of our hips, our legs, our hip musculature, our adductors. I'm driving my hips up, pushing through the heels, and then I'm spreading that band apart. Holding, 1, 2, back down, nice and easy. Let's do about 5 more, putting all those things into play now. I'm driving through my heels, hips are up, pulling the band, 1, 2, dropping the hips, nice and easy, relaxing through the hips. Pushing up, drive through the floor, pull that band, 1, 2, back down, and relax. Good, guys. Drive up through the heels, push that band apart, 1, 2, back down, and relax. Let's do 2 more, guys. Drive up through the heels, hips are engaged, pull that band, 1, 2, back down. We got 1 more. Driving through the heels, holding, pull that band, 1, 2, and relax. Let's take a quick breather, guys. Good job. All right, so we're still gonna stick with that motion. We can take the band away for now. We don't need it necessarily. But we're still gonna be on the floor. The next movement we're gonna do is still engaging our hips. So we're still trying to push up through our hips, but this time I'm gonna try to bring one leg up, back down, other leg, back down, and then I bring my hips down, okay? So we're gonna do about 8 of these, 8 to 10, focusing on engaging our hips, extending, then I'm bringing my other leg down, opposite leg comes up, back down, and then I can bring my hips back down to the floor, okay? So let's do about 8 more of those going nice and slow, pushing through our legs. I'm driving through the floor first, extending up, back down, and then my other leg is gonna come up. I'm driving through the ceiling, back down, and then I can come back down towards the floor. I'm pushing up through the floor first, I'm kicking up, dropping my hips, other leg comes up, and then I can drop my hips back down to the floor. Good job, guys. Try through the heels first. Hips are engaged. Leg comes up. Back down, opposite. Good. And back down. Also, as I'm pushing my hips up, I'm thinking about driving my shoulders down. So I'm pushing down through the ground, through the ceiling, pushing my hips up as I'm pushing my shoulders down. Opposite. And then I'm dropping my hips. Good. Let's do one more. I'm pushing my shoulders down, hips come up. Good. And then we can drop down and relax. Good job. All right, so we're going to transition onto our side. So I'm going to just roll to one side now. And then I'm going to try to bring my elbow on top of my shoulder here. This is where if we have a blanket, we can roll up a blanket and put it underneath. So I'm resting on this towel here with my elbow stacked on top of my shoulder. My knees are going to come up 90 degrees to my hips. So I'm resting in this position here. The first thing we're going to try to do is our goal is to try to lift our hips up off the ground here. So I'm going to push through my elbow and my shoulder here to try to lift my hips up off the ground. This is going to create some really good stability for our shoulder, incorporate a lot of scapular retraction through our shoulder, and stabilize our core too. So what we're going to try to do is as I'm pushing down through our shoulder, we're going to try to tighten our core. So we're going to push our belly button in and try to lift our hips up through here as I come up. So I'm keeping my core tight as I'm pushing my shoulders down. And then we're going to drop back down, okay? So we're going to try to do a couple of these going nice and slow, just focusing on lifting our hips up. So push up and then back down. Once you feel pretty good with this, we can start extending our legs away from us. So now I'm fully extended rather than just the bent knee, okay? So there's two ways we're going to do this exercise depending on what you feel comfortable and acclimated to do. You can stay here with our knees bent, 90 degrees at the hips and knees, and 90 degrees here, or we can go fully extended into a side plank position with our legs fully extended away from us. And then we're going to try to push up this way. So whatever you feel comfortable with. Start with the knees bent, and then as you feel comfortable, you can extend out away and okay? Lastly, if you have a weight or something that you can hold on to, even better, you can extend this arm away. So as I'm coming up, you can push and extend with holding the arm and the weight away from you, staying stacked here, okay? So we're gonna do about 8 repetitions here, whichever one you feel comfortable. You can go fully extended and push up here and hold, or you could stay bent knee and push here. Okay, so let's do about 8 here. Try to keep that hand extended. Try to challenge yourself, keep the core engaged. So we're gonna lift up through here and hold. 1, 2, and then back down. Good. Ready? Extend up, push through that shoulder, keep that core tight. 1, 2, back down. Good. And then what you can do is as you lift your hips up, you can extend the arm and then back down. Extend up and then back down this way. Good. Ready? Coming up and then back down. Ready? Extend up. I'm trying to reach my wrist up towards that ceiling and then back down. Let's do 2 more, guys. Ready? Coming up. Good. 1 more. And coming up. And relax. All right. So I'm going to stay facing this side. Let's take his chance real quick and let's change sides. So we're going to do that same sequence on the other side. I'm going to stay on this side just so I can kind of see the screen, see what the cueing and everything looks okay. So take this opportunity to change sides. Make sure you have that blanket under you and you have your shoulder stacked on top of your elbow. You don't want to be way out here and not loading your shoulder the right way. These, again, going back to the reasoning here, this creates a lot of good stability through our shoulder. If you've had any kind of shoulder pain, pinched nerve through the rotator cuff from sitting or postural stress, this is a good way to start strengthening the shoulder complex by loading the shoulder in a good way. So again, these exercises really easy to do. I try to make it so I pick exercises and incorporate stuff that are very minimalistic. They don't take a lot of things that you can just grab and go with it. Sometimes that's more than enough. So same thing here. I'm staying stacked here. I'm keeping my core tight. We don't want to be lax through our tummy and be unstable and putting all that load onto our shoulder. So keep your core tight. So belly button in. I'm coming up, and then I'm extending. Back down, and then relax. Here we go. Let's do about 8. Coming up, extend. Back down, and relax. Belly button in, pushing up through our elbow and our shoulder. Back down, relax. Good. Coming up, extend. Good. Back down and relax. Pushing up, extend. Back down and relax. Push up, belly button in. Extend up. Back down and relax. You got one more. Pushing up through that elbow. Stay strong. Extend up. 1, 2, and back down and relax. Good stuff. Good, good. All right, let's take a second here. We're going to do a couple stretches before we get up here. So we're going to rotate back over to whatever side we started with. So whatever side that you were laying on initially, I want you to take an opportunity to go back to that side. And then we're going to bring our legs up kind of in a fetal position like this. We're going to be laying down all the way. And I'm trying to make sure my shoulders are staying on top of my hips. I don't want to be way diagonally rotated. I want to stay nice and stacked through my upper body. And we're going to try to rotate and open up. And then try to rotate back over and come back this. So you're trying to create a nice, good windshield wiper motion, extending your chest up and opening your upper body up towards the ceiling. And then come back through and rotate. So as you're doing this, try to think about opening up your diaphragm and your chest towards the ceiling. I'm keeping my shoulders down. You can almost weigh your leg down by holding on with your hand. And then with this hand, I'm rotating open. Something to note, if you have any kind of shoulder pain, you can keep your elbow tucked and just rotate here. You don't have to fully extend your arm. You can keep it tucked and just rotate your upper body. As you bring your chest open, think about taking a big, deep breath in, expanding your chest, stretching your muscles, and then rotate back through. Let's do about one more good one here. Opening up, taking a big, deep breath in. Good, and relax. Let's change sides here. So this is where you're going to rotate to the other side, and we're going to finish up with that other sequence on the other side real quick, just focusing on opening up your upper body. So again, when you get to the other side, I'm keeping my legs tucked, and I'm going to try to open my chest up towards the ceiling. So I'm going to rotate here, keeping my palms up, and my chest should follow. So it's really important that you check your alignment. Make sure that your upper body, your shoulders are stacked on top of your hips, and your knees are tucked open. You don't want to be kind of off center, off kilter, because you're not going to get that stretch through the thoracic spine that we want. So here, I would recommend, if you can, if you feel comfortable, almost taking away the blanket and just going flat so you can get that fully good alignment. If we put a blanket here, it's going to create a little bit off center because our neck's lifted. So if you feel comfortable, try to make it so you're nice and flat through the floor. You want to have a nice straight surface. You don't want to be elevated, so you get a really good stretch through the back as you rotate. And then again, go nice and slow. You don't have to do this quickly. It's more about opening up your upper body a little bit. Go nice and slow. All right, let's do one more. Good. All righty. We're going to transition into a standing position here. So everyone, let's take a second. Let's stand up, and then we're going to be standing in front of our chairs. All right, so for the next setup, what we're going to do is if you have a blanket or a yoga block that you can incorporate, let's have that ready. So let's incorporate that into our next couple set of things. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to use a blanket for a demonstration. Let's grab a couple blankets if you have them. And we're just going to stack them. So I just grabbed two, my regular towels or beach towels, and we're going to put them together just so we can stack them like this. So we're standing only on one side of our body with these towels. We're not going to stand with both legs, we're just on one side. So I'm going to bring it off center, and we're going to focus on standing on our leg with the other leg up. Kind of like this. If you have a yoga block or something, this would be a good time to supplement with that. But I want a couple just so it offers a little bit of instability for your ankle. The goal here is to try to create good stability through our hip, ankle, and knee as we go through these motions, okay? So the chair is here for an insurance policy. You can hold on to this to get acclimated to it. I'm standing a little bit far back so I have room to bring up my leg. And then we're going to try to extend up and back down. Let's just get used to this motion first. This is going to be the first step in the series of things we're going to do. So holding this, 1, 2, and then back down, nice and easy. As you get comfortable, we can start adding more blankets to increase the challenge. So start off to whatever you feel comfortable with. Start off on the floor, and as you get better, you can increase the elevation and instability by adding more layers of blankets. The goal here is to challenge your nervous system to counterbalance the instability that we're creating with the blankets. Holding. And then once we get good, so the goal here now, staying on this leg, now we're going to go through a series of motions, keeping the leg up. So I'm going to raise my leg up, and now I'm going to try to touch my pocket, and I'm going to try to rotate away, and then I'm going to step back down. So again, I'm going to bring my leg up. Once I'm here, pocket to shoulder, and then back down. So that's going to be our movement. We're going to start off on this leg. We're going to do 8 on each leg. So I'm going to step up. Once I'm stable, pocket to shoulder. Touching my pocket, rotating away. Good. Let me try to bring this back so you can see my hands. It's a little better. So I'm bringing my hands down. As I step up, hands come down and away. And then step back down. So I'm going to step up with my knee, find my stability, pocket to shoulder, back down. Let's do a couple more just doing that. I'm stepping up, holding, pocket to shoulder, back down. Stepping up, find your stability, pocket to shoulder. Good, let's do one more. Stepping up, find your stability, pocket to shoulder, and then rotate back down. Good, once you're ready, let's change sides. So as you get good, if you feel comfortable with it, you can hold on to something in your hand to create that stability. So if you have something that you want to hold on to, like a pillow or something as you do the rotating movement, that could be something you can add as well, okay? So let's do the other side now. So same thing on the other side. I'm stepping up, I'm bringing this over. Other leg's gonna come up. I'm gonna find that stability through my hip, ankle, and knee first before I rotate across my body. And then I'm stepping back down. So I'm trying to create my stability first before I do any rotating movement. And then I'm stepping back down. If you feel really good, you can go through a series of those without stepping down. So I can hold here and go here without stepping down if I feel comfortable. So start off stepping up, and then once you feel good, you can hold that position and go through maybe 8 of those without stepping down. Go nice and slow. It's about stability. Good. Let's try to relax here. Let's take a second. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to grab a belt or something that we have on hand, and we're going to line it up long ways so we're creating a nice, good line for ourselves. So I'm going to grab this belt, and I'm just going to lay it down through the whole length of the blanket here, okay? We're going to bring this chair over to our side, and it's just going to be on one side of our body. So I'm lined up. I call it a tandem stance. So I'm going to be lined up with both my feet on this belt. And then I'm going to have this chair next to me if I need to, because I'm going to be a little wobbly because I'm standing with both feet touching this belt. So that's going to be the first step that we're going to get into here. Also, if you have a weight or something that we can hold on to, let's have that ready as well so we can incorporate that moving forward. So the starting position for this, we're just going to stand next to the chair with both feet on, and then whatever hand is away from your body, we're going to extend with the weight with one hand only, and we're going to hold this position. Let's do about 8 seconds with each hand. Just holding the weight off center of your body. I wish you could see this. I'm going to try to set this camera up so you can see this. There we go. So as I'm standing, I'm extending this away from my body without wavering. I'm holding this weight with one hand away from my body, and then as we get good, we can start walking backwards and forwards, holding that weight away from your body. Let's do about 5 of these in each direction, and then we're going to change sides. Think about going heel toe. I'm lining up and I'm touching my heels to my toe. I'm staying close. We don't want a wide stance here. We want to be very narrow. Keep those feet nice and close. Heel toe, heel toe. The reasoning for this exercise, it's challenging your nervous system and the proprioception part of your brain. So a lot of times when we exercise, we only focus on the muscular part, but not necessarily the nervous system as much. So as you get older, the proprioception part, if not trained right, you're going to find yourself losing off balance when you go from a hard surface to a spongy surface to a sandy surface. So it's important to start incorporating things to challenge that part of your brain, to always make sure that you can maintain balance doing functional movements. So that's why sobriety tests, they make you walk a straight line, because mostly a lot of the times the proprioception part of the brain is impaired. So this is a good way to test your, the balance part will be severely affected. So as you're doing this, just go nice and slow. It's more about balance than it is keeping the weight away from you. That's just an added challenge. So just really just change sides now and do that same thing on the other leg, keeping the weight away from you. Obviously, the heavier the weight that's away from you, the harder this exercise is going to be. So I'm holding like a 3-pound ball here, but if you start holding 5, 10 pounds over the head as you walk, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, right? So keep the core tight, belly button in, and just focus on the stability as we're doing this. We're going to do a couple more here. Just go nice and slow, forward and back. Good. All right. So now let's find our center on the belt. I'm standing next to my chair, and I'm gonna go in a split stance now. Still standing on the belt with both my legs, but I'm gonna be trying to spread the floor. All right. Once we're in this position, what we're gonna try to do is whatever side is open, so whatever leg is forward, you're going to be working with the opposite side. So I want to work with, if my right leg is back, I'm going to be working on my right side. So I'm opened up. I'm going to try to reach down and touch my back leg and back up and rotate. So if you need to, you can hold on to this chair to start thinking about touching and rotating. So I'm going to be rotating down and back up while maintaining my balance. So try to touch your back leg. So I'm trying to rotate down, keeping my balance and rotating back up. So my chest should follow my wrist. So if my wrists are rotating down towards my leg, my chest should follow. And then I'm rotating back up while keeping my balance. Rotating down, touching my back leg, rotating up. My wrists are in line with my shoulder. I'm rotating down, touching my back leg. I'm rotating up while maintaining my balance. Good. Let's change sides now. So we're going to do the same movement on the other side. We're going to go in a split stance. We're going to go nice and wide. I'm trying to spread the floor. And then now I'm holding on to, again, a 3-pound weight. If you want to hold on to some kind of yoga block or something you have on hand, you can incorporate that as well. The goal here is to maintain your stability, your hip and knee stability as you rotate. So if I rotate down and away, I'm touching my back leg, I'm hinging backwards, and then I'm extending up into a tall position. I'm hinging backwards, I'm coming up into a tall position. Thinking about pushing my hips back as I go back onto my back leg, coming up into a tall position. Good. Let's do one more. Good. And relax. Let's take a second. We're going to sit down in the chair we have in front of us. We'll take a quick break here. Good job, guys. Not bad, not bad. So I like to incorporate a lot of the core movements before we go into the balance, because a lot of the times the balance exercises have a lot to do with the core movement we have. So if we're very lax with our core through the balance stuff, you're going to notice you won't have the same stability as if you were really focusing and cognizant on engaging the core and the diaphragm muscles. So it's always important to add those into the routine as well as the proprioception things. So we're going to go back to some functional movement, and then we'll finish up working a little bit more on the vestibular and proprioception part of our brains, showing you how we can kind of incorporate everything into one. So the next thing we're going to do a series of sit-to-stands. So if you feel pretty strong, what we're going to try to do is actually incorporate with just one leg. So we're going to have one leg out in front of us here. So I'm leaning forward this way. We're going to be in a split stance. If you want to, you could just stay in this position here and focusing on standing up and sitting down if you need to. But if you want to challenge yourself, we're going to go into a split stance. I'm bringing one leg out in front. That other leg is going to stay straight. And then I'm going to lean forward this way and try to push up. Lean back. My chest comes over my knee. Once my chest is over my knee, I can push up and lean back. Extending forward. Imagine like you're reaching down towards your toes, and then I'm pushing up. Extending back. Lean forward and push up. Okay? One thing I want to add to this one, though, is today we're going to try to raise our arms up as we push up through our legs. So I'm going to keep this leg straight. I'm going to bring this arm forward, extend up, and then come back down on the seat. So as you try to stand up, I want you to focus, maybe grab a pillow or something that you can hold on to, and I want you to maintain eye contact with whatever you're raising up over your head. So as you bring your arms up and you extend up, I'm maintaining eye contact with it. As I come up and I'm arching my back, maintain eye contact as I hinge back and down. Okay? So that's going to challenge the vestibular part of our brain and focus on balancing as we're doing the functional strength training, bringing our legs up, okay? So let's do about 8 on each side, either both legs together, extending up, or with one leg out and up, extending. Going nice and slow, focusing on hinging forward, pushing up, pushing back, extending back. Leaning forward, pushing up, push back, and down. I'm leaning forward first, pushing up through this leg. Arms come up, I'm maintaining eye contact, and then I'm coming back down nice and easy. Push up, extend. Come back down, nice and easy. Just do a couple more. Pushing up, extend. Good. Back down, nice and easy. Push up, extend. Good. Back down, nice and easy. Couple more. Push up, extend. Back down, one more. And then I'm leaning forward, pushing up. And then back down, nice and easy. Good, good. All right, so we're going to do the same pattern on the other side. Let's take a quick breather. So we're going to change legs now. You see this side? Okay, so I'm going to bring this leg straight now. Other leg is going to be straight out in front of me. From here, I'm going to try to push up and bring the arms up, back down this way. Here we go. Push up, extend. Good. Back down, nice and easy. Good. Leaning forward first, pushing up. Good. And then back down. Good. Ready? Push it up. Back down. Let's do 2 more good ones here. Good. One more, guys. Good. And relax. Woo. All right. Real quick, we're gonna finish up here doing a couple standing exercises. So let's stand up, and we're gonna stand behind our chair to finish for today. Okay, let's see here. 1 second. Okay. All righty. So we're going to stand up here. We're just going to be standing behind our chairs. Perfect. Let me just make sure I can see it. There we go. So we're going to be standing up here with our arms behind the chair. We're going to actually bring both our legs out. So if you can't really see me now, I'm bringing both my legs out. I'm kind of spreading open a little bit. And I'm going to try to push my legs back, but I'm going to keep the legs out in front of me. So I'm going to be trying to spread the floor a little bit. So my legs are going to be kind of spread apart, and I'm pushing my hips back a little bit. And then I'm going to have this chair out in front of me, and then I'm going to be trying to push my hips back as I extend. I'm trying to come down with my chest and extend my chest out. And then you can come up nice and easy. I'm bringing my hips forward, and then I'm pushing back. Then extend up nice and easy. And then push our hips back. Reaching out in front of us. And then extend up nice and easy. Let's do a couple more. Really thinking about pushing the hips and then bringing the hips forward. Pushing the hips back. Good. Let's do one more like this. Extend the hips back. Good. And then now what we're going to do, we're going to bring one hand across the chair. So I'm going to reach across with whatever hand's diagonally. So we're going to try to reach across. With this hand, I'm going to try to come down and across my body. And then we can change sides. This hand is going to come down and across my body. And then you're trying to rotate your chest and open the body. Good. Let's change sides. Down and across my body and rotating. And lastly, let's do it one more time each way. I'm going to come down and across and rotate. Good. And one more time to the other side. And relax. All righty. All right, so I'm glad that everyone came out today. So similarly, a lot of the stuff that I incorporated from last class, I added in. I like to try to add in some new stuff each time so that it keeps the class refreshing. I do a mixture of both the strength functional aspect as well as the proprioception and balance aspect because I think they coincide very closely and they almost interlink. So I like to incorporate a little bit of each during each one of the sessions. So during this time, it's really important. I try to create this class not so much about doing some kind of crazy workout that's gonna, but it's gonna be something that you could, little exercises that you can incorporate each day that you can add to your toolbox to make sure that it kind of takes the mundane out of what's going on right now. I know everyone's kind of stuck at home and it's hard to break the cycle. So hopefully that these exercises and things that you can add into your routine can help break the cycle a little bit, add some kind of refreshing part of the day. That's kind of my goal during this time, hopefully once everyone gets back into the center, I can, start training a lot of you over there. So that'll be good. If you have any questions, I like to, at least during these first couple sessions, I want to give everyone my contact information. I do home health physical therapy. As everyone knows right now, everything's turning virtual. So right now I'm doing everything virtually, but for the most part, I do home health. I've done mostly neurological, stroke, MS, spinal cord injury, as well as orthopedic and just the general rehab. So if anyone has any specific questions regarding certain exercises, aches, pains, suggestions, things like that, I want to give everyone my information so it could be an open avenue during this time. And so, any way I can help out would be great. So if anyone wants to write down my information, I can give everyone my contact information, my email, and then you can also send me a text if you want as well. So my work email is Jimmy@renew, RENEU -health.com. My phone number to text is 760-550-7011. Again, my work email is going to be Jimmy@RENEU-health.com. My phone to text 760-550-7011. I'll be doing this class every Tuesday at 11 o'clock moving forward. I like to make it so the classes kind of progress as you move forward. These first couple ones, I'm going to try to keep it the same until I can kind of get a general sense of who's coming in. And then once I get the numbers and we get the programs going, I'm going to start making it progressive in nature as a means to challenge you. And then if it's something that you haven't progressed to a certain exercise, you can just maintain the exercise if you've been doing in the other classes. So it creates a good template for you, but also a means of progression as well. Again, some of these exercises you can really do at home. They counteract a lot of the time that people have been sitting. I know, especially now, we're watching a lot more television. We're at home, and we kind of lose track of the day-to-day. So if you can incorporate some of these exercises 1 to 2 times a day, not all of them, but a lot of the stretching exercises, laying on your side and rotating, doing the stretching in the chairs with the resistance bands, that can counteract some of the postural stress that you'll get from just doing the little bit more increased sitting during these times, okay? Again, my name's Jimmy. It's good seeing everyone that comes. I really appreciate the support. Please reach out to me as you get going forward. And then anything I can do to help, I'm here for you guys, okay? We'll get through it day to day. Just try to add a little bit of spice into each day, and it makes everything a little bit better, yeah? All right, guys. I hope everyone has a great week. Continue at it, and I'll see everyone next Tuesday, okay? Keep at it. Until then, yeah? All right, bye, guys. Bye now.
Thanks, Jimmy. See ya.
You're welcome.
Yes, to not put child safety caps on.